What's good with it, Black Goose TV family, man? Double salute as always. Your boy Fluence is back in the building again with some more Fluence boxing news for my family members. Look, as y'all can see, we have some breaking news. We have an official fight date for an upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez and Jose Pedraza. Look, I'm gonna be 110% with you. I didn't expect this. This came out of nowhere. Honestly, with everything going on in the boxing community, with the upcoming big fights happening this weekend, as well as a lot of switches when it comes to the expected fights that we wanted to see later in the year. One of them being Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua not happened. Now it's Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora. Obviously, we weren't able to get Anthony Yard versus Artur Beterbiev. That's been rescheduled for January. I just did not know Teofimo Lopez was looking to fight again before the end of the year. Now, I shouldn't be too surprised because me saying that actually triggers a memory in my head when I was reporting his father talking about, Teofimo making his comeback this year. It was way earlier in the year. It was before he fought Ocampo. It was way earlier when they were first talking about him, when they're first talking about Teofimo Lopez and Ocampo, that particular fight happening or, being in the works. I remember his father saying the goal is that his son wants to fight 2 times before the end of the year. So now that triggered, that triggered my memory just now. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be too surprised about this, but it's just like, it seems like it wasn't really talked about or discussed that much in the media after the Ocampo fight, which me personally, I don't know if it's a bad thing. I don't know if it's a good thing. I love this surprise. Like this makes me ecstatic because, like I said earlier, we had some, we're still having some good fights happen before the end of the year. We also have some great fights coming up also before the end of the year. Zito Ramirez versus Dimitri Bivol is one that comes to mind. But still, this is a treat. This is a treat to have this in December, to see Teofimo Lopez come back. Not only is he coming back for a second time this year, after absolutely outclassing Ocampo earlier in the year in August, I believe. It was only about a month and a half ago, not too long ago. But this is a treat. I'm very, very, very excited for this fight, especially specifically because against a guy like Jose Pedraza is no slouch. That's not an easy opponent. It's a very solid fight for him. It's actually even more solid thinking that he just fought Ocampo in August, and now he's going to turn around and fight Pedraza on December 10th. It's really showing levels, man. It's really Teofimo's really kind of flexing a little bit on people right here. I know some people are going to be like, oh, who's Jose Pedraza? He lost to X, Y, and Z, and then they say the same thing about Ocampo, but nah, man. What he overcame, and as far as after the George Kambosos loss, what he overcame as far as the illness, as far as the surgery on his hand, and for him to come back and look the way he did at a new weight class, may I add, against Ocampo, and now they're talking about Jose Pedraza finalizing for December 10th. That tells me we have some big fights ahead of us for next year for Teofimo. It tells me that he's done, like he's willing to put himself out there and take chances, and I think that's something that a loss does too. An unexpected loss for someone who was young as Teofimo Lopez, who, his whole entire team probably had a game plan or a strategy that they wanted to go by. That L put a fork in the road. So, I won't be surprised, especially if he does, an amazing job or he puts on an amazing performance like he did against Ocampo in this particular fight against Pedraza once it is finalized for December 10th, because I do believe it will be finalized. I think this fight's going to happen, no doubt. But if he does do that, I will not be surprised if we see Teofimo just call out fucking everybody in the 140 division, the 135 division, and I'm just very interested to see where this will go. That's my particular that's the one thing I'm watching the most. Where will Teofimo go if he does go ahead and do what we expect him to do against Jose Pedraza? Where will he go next year? What will be his direction? Is he going to continue kind of to slowly nurture himself into this 140 division, even though I don't think he's doing that at all? Because like I said, he fought Ocampo in August. Now he's fighting Pedraza. Will he fight another guy where we're like, oh, wait, that's a solid fight, but it's still not, Josh Taylor, it's still not a Ryan Garcia, it's still not, I know he's above weight class in Devin Haney, but he still has that opportunity to go back down and fight that. If he does decide to go back down to 135, doesn't seem like he has any plans, but still, what's the strategy here after this? But I'm not going to get too much into that because I don't know. That's all speculation. I just want to let y'all know, first and foremost, this fight is happening. Respect to Teofimo Lopez for doing this, such a short period of time within the time frames of his last fight and this fight. But it only makes sense because, like I said before, his dad said their goal was to fight 2 times before the end of the year to really knock that rust out. Obviously for being out for so long due to the illness, due to the surgery, etc. So what do you guys think about this fight happening? Teofimo Lopez versus Jose Pedraza finalized for December 10th. It's not actually set in stone yet, but it's gonna happen. I think it's only a matter of a couple days or a week for it to actually be announced as being official. Do you guys like this fight? Dislike it? Do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? What are your thoughts? Drop it down below. While you're dropping it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification gang, all that good stuff. I want to know you guys' personal opinion, of course, who you guys leaning toward for this particular fight. Now, with all that being out of the way, with my perspective, my opinion, me telling you the nitty gritty, or not necessarily the nitty gritty, but at least, you know what I'm saying, what's happening, giving you guys the basics, the foundation. It's on y'all if y'all want to continue watching it, or you can go ahead and get your ass up out of here. Either way, just make sure you hit the like button or even the dislike button before you get up out of here, because either way, it helps me get in the algorithm. But if you do decide to stay, I'm going to give you guys some details so you're not just going straight off the headlines and my speculation. Let's read a little bit on Boxing News 24, what they got to say for us. So, former unified lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez and Jose Pedraza are reportedly finalizing a deal to meet on December 10th in a fight in New York on ESPN. The 33-year-old former two-division world champion Pedraza, 29-4-1, isn't the fighter that boxing fans want to see take over Teofimo face next. Fans went to see Teofimo against 140-pound contender like Arnold Barboza or Gary Antoine Russell, which I think those are going to be two fights that are going to be in the works next year. I think that's something like what I was saying. Like, what's the plans? What do you think is going to come next? I think we're going to see guys like Gary Antoine Russell being a possibility. Who knows though? That's PBC. I do see Jose Ramirez being a possibility. Like I said, Josh Taylor is a possibility. Like I see the bigger names or the more exciting fights next year. But this year, like I'm not surprised by this, and this is why a lot of times I don't read everything in the articles for Boxing News 24, because it's like that's such a stupid statement. We all know Teofimo is getting the ring rust off, getting comfortable at 140, and when it makes sense for him to, one, give a contender like Arnold Barboza or Gary Antoine Russell the clout right now, and two, it just when it makes sense, period, financially. So it's like why are you even saying that? So we all know Richard Comey and Pedraza recently fought in August, the same time that Teofimo fought Ocampo, or the same month, I should say, and they got a 12-round decision. So it shows Pedraza still has something left in the tank. That's me saying that personally. They're just basically bashing Pedraza. I feel like Boxing News always bashes majority of fighters' opponents if it's not the fight they want. That's what I hate. But as you guys can see here, coming from Mike Coppinger, Teofimo Lopez and Jose Pedraza are finalizing a deal for a December 10th junior welterweight fight in New York. Sources tell ESPN. Lopez's second bout at 140 pounds, and he's back on ESPN's Heisman Night. Story coming soon. So there you guys go. I do want to read this last little bit. Teofimo will be making his second fight at 140 since moving up in weight last August. He didn't look all that good, and this is from Boxing News 24. I disagree in his debut at light welterweight, stopping little-known Pedro Campo in the 7th round. I disagree that he looked great. Teofimo was matched against a non-contender by his promoters, yet he struggled through the first 6 rounds. I don't believe that, getting hit frequently. He never got hit. This is a very biased article. Let's fast forward. If Teofimo has a hard time defeating Pedraza, he would need to consider getting a nutritionist and moving back down to 135. Jesus, who is this rider? Because you're a hater. Top Rank is likely counting on WBO light welterweight champion Josh Taylor vacating his title soon. That number 1 Teofimo can swoop in and pick up that belt, defeating number 2 Liam Paro. That's a winnable fight for Teofimo. By the way, that is something, finally he reported some facts. Yeah, supposedly Josh Taylor is supposed to be dropping his WBO belt, but he will be keeping his other belts, WBA, and I believe he has the WBC still. But he would be keeping those, and supposedly Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall was supposed to be in the works. I don't know if that's going to happen before the end of the year or early next year, but that's supposed to be the next fight to happen, because I think what the plan is ESPN is hoping Josh Taylor will get this rematch with Jack Catterall, beat him convincingly so we can get that out of the way, and then obviously Teofimo Lopez can have this fight with Pedraza, and then hoping that Taylor drops that WBO, he can have that fight with Liam Paro for that WBO belt. He win the WBO belt, then have a super fight between Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez later in the 2023 year. I think that's what ESPN is hoping, praying, and wishing and planning for. So I basically answered my question in the beginning. And that's why sometimes you got to read these articles, because you definitely can put 2 and 2 together or can piece together the puzzle. You feel me? So I'm definitely, like I said, I'm not going to the nitty gritty of this. I was at first, but then I seen how biased everything was. Like, I'm good on that. But at least, the very least, a little bit I did read, you know what I'm saying? It allowed me to put together a game plan. It seems like ESPN and Top Rank is trying to do for Teofimo as far as his trajectory. It seems like his trajectory is most likely to clash with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's trajectory is the most likely clash with Teofimo. That seems like the most likely fight to happen, or the most likely circumstances that, Top Rank wants to happen when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, and probably Josh Taylor too, especially since Josh Taylor isn't moving up to 147 anymore because they don't got Terrence Crawford. So what do you guys think? Once again, let me know. Drop the comments below. Much love to the people on the Arnold Schwarzenegger side of the game. I'll be back, but with more box there. You feel me? Stay blessed, not stressed. You already know, double salute. Much love to the people. Drop your comments below. I need to know your opinion. I'm out.